Good morning. I'm a couple minutes late. I was in meditation and I lost track of time. It's what happens sometimes. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. This morning, I had a lot of messages come through this morning, but the thing that really felt good for us to contemplate is joy. So as you know, a couple weeks ago, I did a workshop on joy. And there are three elements to joy. The first one is authenticity. There's three, like I said, there's three elements. So the first element is authenticity. And what does that mean? I want you to think about, are there areas in my life where I have to pretend to be what somebody else needs me to be? Because that inauthenticity is getting in the way of you living your most joyful life, your most joyful expression of yourself. Oftentimes, the way that the inauthenticity shows up is when we have an idea and then we have a yeah, but. And we move into small thinking. And that small thinking, when we start to feel boxed in, it's because we're not being our authentic self. So you have this idea, you have an impulse, and then you hear, yeah, but I really can't do that. Good morning. I really can't do that. And then you give yourself all of these reasons why. You are actually not being your authentic self in that moment. And so the question is who do I have to be in my life in order for people to love and appreciate me, in order for me to have all the things that I want to have in my life? And so all of that wanting all of this stuff is also part of the inauthenticity. And so being authentic requires risk. It requires that we have faith in the thing that was written on our hearts to do. Even if that thing is just taking a trip across town and you think, well, everybody is not going to like it, or speaking your truth. Oftentimes, there's something inside of you that needs to be spoken. This keeps coming up a lot in the last few weeks. The thing that needs to be spoken, your truth, whatever that is, you hiding it or suppressing it is you being inauthentic. You can't have joy and suppress, lie to yourself, be dishonest with others, just get along, try to get along. All of these things are the antithesis to you living your joy. And so this is really a high calling because it's risky, right? So the other element of joy is humility. And because we're human, right, and we make mistakes and we're learning about ourselves and we're learning about our most authentic self. And actually it takes time. I mean, you would think that we would know exactly who we are, but the reality is that we're becoming the self of ourselves. And our world is giving us feedback into how we can be the most authentic and be the most comfortable in our own skin. People who are living in joy are comfortable with who they are. And so oftentimes we need that feedback. And in the feedback, we make choices. We make conscious choices. So it's all part of it. And the third thing is having a sense of humor. You have to laugh at yourself. So anyway, this morning we're going to be meditating on moving anything that is in our way from us being fully in our joy and having faith. Faith that what is written on your heart is the right thing for you. Faith that in the end, it's all going to work out, even if you have to ruffle a few feathers. Faith that you are here for a purpose and that you are on purpose and that your life has so much meaning. These are the best years. Whatever year you're in, this is the beginning of the best years of your life, right? So, all right. You guys ready? Let's do this. I have to have my coffee. All right, feet flat on the floor, eyes closed, chin tilted slightly down so that the back of your neck is nice and long. And let's take 3 hot breaths together. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhaling, exhaling. And in my mind's eye, I'm seeing us all as children. And I want you to imagine yourself as a child and just being free to play. And let's pretend that just in this moment, the thing or the word or the person that caused us to not be our most authentic self, let's just move that out of the way. Let's just know that playful part of us, the authentic part, the expressive part, that there's no obstacle to that joy and to that expressiveness. We are told that to enter into the kingdom of heaven, we must be like little children. Well, children are curious and they're emotional and they're exuberant and they have energy. And so we are knowing right here and right now that nature, that energetic, joy-filled nature is our nature. And anything that is in the way of it, anybody that told us that we couldn't do it, we just move that aside. And we just allow the light of joy that we are to shine forth from us, because we are knowing that joy doesn't come from the outside. It is an inner quality. And we are so grateful for this opportunity. We are knowing that as we sit in our joy, that all the discord in our lives, the relationships, the financial troubles, the health problems, also begin to move aside in the light of this joy. Because this joy is the joy of our source, the joy of the divine presence within and around us. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm hearing that someone has been wounded. They said, my heart is wounded. And so we ask for healing. Healing is possible because that joy is within you. And so we can be vulnerable and we can be playful. And in this place, nobody can touch us. We move beyond the hurt. We move beyond the wound. We move into our joy. Inhale and exhale. Very gently opening up your eyes, coming all the way back to the room. Go ahead and give yourself a hug and give yourself another hug. You can take that energy into more meditation. You can contemplate it. I felt somebody feeling that there was a lot of wounds, that they were feeling wounded, and that came up in the joy. When the negative stuff starts to come up, all that means is that your unconscious mind, your unconscious mind is 98% of your behavior. We need to be in alignment with our unconscious mind when we're co-creating in our universe. So when that stuff, the negative stuff comes up, all your unconscious mind is saying, yes, joy, yes, let's live in our joy, and let's deal with this. So with that wound, we can just give it up to our source, give it up to the divine presence. Know that we are bigger than this wound. Sometimes these things seem so huge and we feel consumed by it. And what I want you to imagine is that your energy actually extends way beyond you, and that thing that happened, if we give it perspective, can be just a drop in the ocean. Okay, you are so much bigger, so much vaster than anything. And I know some of us have had some serious wounds, some serious things happen to us in our childhood and in our young adulthood, and you are bigger than that. You are bigger than that. You have access to an infinite power that goes before you and can co-create with you. Anyways, I can just keep going on, and we need to get ready for our day because it's Monday. All right, you have a beautiful day, and I will see you here tomorrow at 6 a.m. I will be on time. Bye.